Hello and welcome to 10-Minute Tabletop, where we cover the biggest stories in tabletop gaming in 10 minutes or less. I'm Devin.
And I'm Darren.
And here are the biggest stories from the past week.
So the Terminator RPG makers caught and removed some AI-generated artwork from their upcoming sourcebook, as reported by Dicebreaker this week.
So what's funny about this is Terminator, the whole plot of Terminator is like the rise of machines, the rise of AI. So it's funny.
You're totally right.
And like it's so funny that this got in there. But the important thing is like there was like 16 pieces of AI art. The art producer said, no, this is not AI art. And that's the problem. Is like they said, hey, we're not going to do any AI art. And someone submitted it and lied about what it is. This happened recently with Sports Illustrated, where they had a journalist on their website that was writing articles, and they had like a stock image of this person. And they said their name was like Joseph Gonzalez or something like that.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was just AI bot that was writing these articles. And they lied about it. And that's where they got in hot water, is because they lied. If it was written by AI, say it's done by AI. Yeah. When you try to pass things off as human made, that's when you're going to get like tons of blowback. And if you're being hired to make art and you then try to use AI to pass off as your own, it's not going to be a good look for that art producer. Okay,
there's a triple irony here, actually, right? So there's the irony, the double irony of Terminator being about just like the rise of AI. Yeah. But then there's the triple irony of that, like, AI is used to detect AI art. There's like AI art detectors, which is how they found that this art was like a 99.9% match with some kind of AI art. It just goes to show that, like, the pervasive nature of AI art in the creator space and kind of like pretty blanket negative reaction from the TTRPG community in the use of AI art in these games.
This isn't the only AI art like debacle that's happened this past week. Something happened with Wizards of the Coast, which was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, speaking of like the pervasive, AI art in this like creative community, the internet was abuzz with new AI art accusations against Wizard of the Coast this time.
Yeah, the new player's handbook, the dwarf, which is, you can see here, it's a dope cover.
Yeah, it is very, very beautiful. And actually, these ones turned out to be false. So Dungeons & Dragons says there was no generative AI used to create the artwork teasing the 2024 rule books. And the artist accused of using AI actually shared their progress photos to legitimize the fact that they didn't use AI, and the creator who accused Hasbro of AI issued an apology and removed the video that they posted on X.
Yeah. Why this is important is ever since the OGL, folks online, armchair journalists, like we're not journalists. We just we find news and we tell you what the news is.
News curators.
But there's a lot of armchair journalism during the OGL. Mm-hmm. And that kind of came to the fact that anytime Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast were trying to pull something or trying to do something that was considered unethical or, against kind of like the industry standards, people were calling them out for it.
Yeah.
But people are looking for blood in the water. They're like poised to be upset with WotC because WotC has an image problem.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely not looking great from the public perspective right now. So I could see them, with the recent layoffs, looking for other reasons like that would point to maybe they are going to, implement AI and cut even more jobs and even more collaboration with artists.
But again, it's like one of those things, people have to be careful with these accusations.
Right.
You have to complete due diligence, or you have to pass that off to an actual journalist.
Yeah.
This is also, now there's a bunch of critics on Reddit, which, these are not verified yet, but that are talking about, it seems that DriveThruRPG is being inundated with AI material. And you can't do AI-assisted written material on DriveThruRPG. You can do art, but it has to be labeled as such. But people are starting to notice a trend of certain creators that have 400, 500, 600-page content PDFs. When looking at it, the syntax doesn't seem human. It seems kind of like AI syntax. And so now there's grumblings on what's going on with DriveThru, and it's so hard to find this information.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to see, like everyone's seeing an all-around cultural shift in how AI is going to interact with the world right now. And as we'll use AI to decide what to do with this AI.
In other news, Amazon Studios has signed a deal to produce the Warhammer 40K series with Henry Cavill as executive producer in The Leading Man, as reported by IGN.
This is important because this is another big studio greenlighting another big project utilizing the credibility of Henry Cavill, who's just like everyone's favorite nerd. And he's just like well known for being a huge fan and lifelong advocate of Warhammer. He's probably their like highest profile advocate of it. And, just for me personally, I hope this bodes better for him than Superman and The Witcher.
He did not have a lot of luck there.
I am dying for him to have his win, like his big win, his like resounding win.
I think Henry Cavill is going to give up if Warhammer 40K, if he has the same problems he had with Superman. And
he's like, all right, you can't keep using my love for this stuff and then taking it and just bastardizing it.
And here's the thing, Games Workshop, Warhammer, they're having their moment right now. They had some great press because they announced profit sharing with all of their employees this year because of how well they did. They're also received some pretty positive reviews for Rogue Trader, which is the new CRPG. The CRPG is a computer role-playing game, much like Baldur's Gate, a turn-based role-playing game. And that's receiving some good reviews. It is no Baldur's Gate, but it is, one of the newest forays into the CRPG post Baldur's Gate. So people are hungry for those games. I think this is a great sign for Cubicle 7, which is the publisher of all of Warhammer 40K and Warhammer Fantasy in the tabletop role-playing game space. I think the movie, the TV series, whatever comes with Amazon's deal is going to do a lot for tabletop.
Yeah, and bring more people and all of their tiny minis into this space.
Following up on last week, MCDM is currently at $3.4 million raised for their Backerkit for the new RPG that they are putting out. It was the biggest day on Backerkit ever.
Dang.
It was the largest campaign Backerkit has had so far.
And they were also the second most funded campaign in Backerkit crowdfunding and the #1 biggest launch party on Backerkit crowdfunding with over 12,000 people tuned into their live launch stream event.
Huge success for MCDM.
Yeah. And then following up on last week, the D&D streaming shows are now on demand.
So you can go to plex.tv. You can find Heroes Feast, Faster, Kill, Purple Worm. That name, I'm sorry.
No, it's
Matthew
Purple
Lillard,
Worm.
I'm telling you, that's the hardest name to remember. And then Encounter Party, they are all now available on demand. There was a lot of criticism that came out. D&D Shorts was talking about like how hard it is to find this and you could only watch it live. That Wizard of the Coast kind of stopped any promotion around them. But now you can find them. And like I had to make sure I was able to watch. I watched Encounter Party live because I wanted to see it. But now I can go back and you can watch all of them. Again, these are incredibly well-produced shows. So kudos to the teams that worked on these. I'm excited that now people can just go and watch them on demand.
So they're no longer just on the Wizard of the Coast specific channel that they are creating, and they're now kind of
you had to catch them at a certain time when they were streaming on Plex TV or Freevee.
So 24-hour live TV feed, if you guys remember that story from a while back.
But now you can just go and watch them, plex.tv. Dungeon Dudes, Dungeons of Drakenheim is now available on D&D Beyond. And this is huge. We talked about when Critical Role Tal'Dorei Reborn was added to D&D Beyond. That was the first third party to be on D&D Beyond since its acquisition by Wizard of the Coast. This is now the second. This is huge because this is how Wizard of the Coast is going to continue to find ways to stay competitive. It is going to be third party creators like the wonderful stuff that Dungeon Dudes has put out. And they're going to be adding that to D&D Beyond to not only try to increase subscribers, but also to stay competitive because they're not having to put out that much stuff if they just keep licensing things. And Chris Cox, in his memo, after they laid off the 1,100 people right before Christmas, talked about their new focus is going to be key partnerships to maximize licensing opportunities. And that's exactly what this is.
This isn't part of the new show, but is that going to be less or more lucrative for them? I'm confused because it's are they paying people less? And
when you think about what it takes to put out a book, right? It takes out so much. You have this huge teams of people to put all this content. Instead, another company has already done this, a third party, and they're like, you know what? We'll add that to D&D Beyond.
Yeah, kind of that mentality of just small acquisitions. You do all the legwork, and then I kind of reap the benefits at the very end.
Because they're creating a marketplace with D&D Beyond, and that's kind of the goal of it.
Which is great for those creators, but also interesting after the huge round of layoffs they just did.
Absolutely. Hey, but this is our last news of the year. Thank you so much. This is the first year, this is our first year doing this.
Thank you so much for tuning into a year of 10-minute tabletop news. We appreciate everyone that's viewed every single week, and we hope to see you in 2024.
And if you want to support the show, the best way you can is tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, or you can go over to Patreon at patreon.com/totalpartychill, and you can support us there. Thanks so much, and we'll see you
next year.
You did it too.